Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today I have Eric Fong on the line. He's an attorney over at Fong Law, PLLC. Eric, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam. Good morning.
All right, Eric. So excited to learn more about what you're doing over at Fong Law as a trial lawyer, and really just get into what drew you to law, and then how you've managed to grow your practice and really your journey as an entrepreneur. But before we get into all that, I'd like to start this episode the way that we start them all, with what we call our Mission Matters Minute. So, Eric, we at Mission Matters, we amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. That's our mission. Eric, what mission matters to you?
I think that in life, you take on a mission, whatever that definition may be. And in the context of me as a professional, as a lawyer, I think that it would be to do good. To hold yourself out as someone who has integrity, that is going to do the job and do it right, and is honest. And so my mission would be to be the best available me today, so that I can be the best me for whoever trusts me with their life.
It's great. Love bringing mission-based individuals on the line to share, why they do what they do, how they do it, and really what we can all learn from that, so we can all grow together. So great having you on. And Eric, I guess just to get us kicked off here, tell us a little bit more about your background. Did you always know you wanted to be a lawyer, or how'd that come about?
No, I'm not sure how many people grow up with huge aspirations to be a lawyer. Yeah, you were talking about. I have one on the show. I'm not going to lie to you. I have one on the show. He said, I always wanted to be. I even dressed up for it during Halloween. I called BS. He was like, no, I swear. My mom will send you the picture. Go ahead. I just had to tell you. Go ahead. How's he or she doing now? Geez. You were saying, wanting to, your introduction, you're saying, hey, we're going to talk about your law firm and the law, and we're looking forward to hearing that. And I just, I really wonder how many people really want to know what it's like to be a lawyer, and what does that mean? Because in the legal profession, that's like saying, what kind of insect are you interested in? Because there's an infinite number of lawyers and specialties and trades, and people grinding it out, trying to make some money, other people passionately throwing themselves into a cause and at the same time going broke and loving it, other lawyers that are representing corporations and can't stand what they do, but they're bringing back a huge paycheck, and prosecutors that are throwing people in jail. Some, it's their mission to make society better. Others feeling, I'm not sure if this is really good for our community. So me, as a lawyer, and what I do is pretty unique. I'm a trial lawyer. I get up in front of a group of people and tell a story. And I deal with a dynamic that is very bizarre, because you've got a defense lawyer that is taking the same facts, or a prosecutor, or the opposing party, whatever case it might be, that's taking the same facts, but having a different kind of interpretation or spin, or, and you're dealing with a judge that is kind of the official of overseeing everything. So I basically help. The way I like to think of what I do is I help people. I help people go through traumatic events, and primarily right now I'm fighting the insurance industry. Most of my cases are kind of that battle where I'm dealing with Allstate or Zurich or State Farm, or you name it. Did you always have an interest in story and telling a story? Because I hear you mention that word, and there's a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives that watch this show, and stories this comes up over and over again.
Is that always been one of your things?
No, but no, not at all. And the reason why I think for most people is that we ironically, we are programmed and we live our lives through stories. We are genetically, evolutionary, however you want to, view why we're here today. We know that story and emotion and plot move people to action, both individually for motivation and emotion. You watch a movie and you just well up, or you hear a song and all of a sudden you're ready to jump through the roof with this energy. And so people who are in the line of motivation and moving, we know and we study to be successful that a huge way to tap into the heart is story. And so I've been lucky enough to just study it with some of the great, like really professional, like Hollywood screenwriters and actors, and I have friends in interesting places that, because I seek it, right? There's no end in knowledge. So I've sought out knowledge in unconventional ways, and I've just been blessed with people who share this knowledge and these gifts with me. So no, it was not natural at all.
That's interesting to me, like that you mentioned, Hollywood and some of the best storytellers, because you wouldn't, or I wouldn't, I shouldn't say you wouldn't, but I wouldn't expect for a trial lawyer to mention that that's kind of where some of their coaching and narrative comes from. But it makes total sense after you said it. So I'm in LA, and now that you say that, I'm like, if story's the root of everything, like it's another format, it's another stage, it's another lens, right?
Well, who's mastered it more than Hollywood? They are the king of story, and I'll tell you this, right? If you have a message, if you can't say it within a minute or two, you don't know your message. And there isn't a story in this world that can't be told in 21 minutes and 33 seconds, right? Every major CBS, NBC, they have 30-minute slots, X number of time to advertisement. Think of the compelling TV series we watch and the story that gets told in that limited amount of time. And I'll be in court, and I'll watch really sophisticated, super successful lawyers giving an opening statement that takes 2, 3, 4 hours, and I'm watching people struggling to stay awake. And these are like the greatest, presumably some of the greatest storytellers around, right? Who anyways.
And so trial law, like you mentioned this as we started talking about this, as we opened up the interview, like what drew you to that? Like versus there was a lot of different paths to go, what drew you there?
Yeah, I fell into it. It found me. It was like, you jump, you jump out of a window for safety. I jumped into a window, and it was trial law, and I stumbled into it. I went to law school not to be a lawyer, but to keep going to school. I grew up in a really academically stressed family that I wasn't the first kid to go to college, right? I'm the exact opposite, and I'm very blessed for that. And people who tell me they're the first person ever in their family to go to college, it gives me like these tingles. But I came from a different place, and I rebelled against that. I didn't like it. I actually was a troublemaker, but I did enough to get by. And so I went to law school just to keep the parents happy, and I thought I'd be like an insurance adjuster or something. I got a D in the area of law I practice now in law school, right? And I took the first job I could get because the top quote-unquote jobs, like you said, we're interested here about the lawyer. Me coming out of law school, I would have been fired from the top jobs because I just wouldn't have cut it because I wouldn't have fit the mold. So I took the first job I could get. It was a public defender in a really, kind of rundown, gritty, dangerous town, making $24,000 a year and an opportunity. That was 27 years ago. Yeah, public defenders don't make very much. And I fell in love with it. There was something about this process that, like I said, it found me. I just stumbled along in life and was lucky enough not to, get seriously mangled or killed. And I kept hanging in there and being open to knowledge. And somehow it just happened.
Wow, that's interesting.
All right.
And what was the first, so then you at some point go from being a public defender, and then I don't know if there was something in between, or did you just did you go to starting your own firm, or like?
Well, interesting. I at this time, and in my county, the public defenders were, the private law firms would contract with the governments to provide public defense, and they'd get paid some, silly amount to go do this really like God's work. It's so important. Like public defenders, I mean, it's some of the work I'm most proud of to this day. But so I was in a private firm, David Rovang. It was Rovang and Associates. He hired me, fresh out of law school, and he was a private lawyer. He did a lot of divorces. And as an intern, I had worked for a personal injury lawyer. And so I knew personal injury law, and I convinced Rovang to take out an ad. So when I said, 24 and an opportunity, this is what I was talking about. The opportunity was that he gave me the freedom to kind of grow. And he was willing to take out, advertisement back then. It was yellow pages. Okay. Like the world today is so different than what I grew up in as a lawyer. But we took out yellow page ads, and I quickly built a private practice that, I was juggling at the same time I was doing these public defense cases. And then the only way you learn how to get in front, to be a trial lawyer, which is a constitutional right, by the way, right? You got the executive branch, the judicial branch, the legislative branch. The most powerful group of people in this country right now is a group of 12 that decide justice. And so you look at these trials that are going on with, high stakes trials, right? The president, governors, senators cannot undo a verdict on matters that are critically important to our growth and to, frankly, coming out of this tailspin that we're in. It's juries that took down the tobacco company. It's juries, right, that exposed some of the biggest corruption we've ever seen. And the only way you learn as a lawyer how to get in front of a group of people and tell a story, right, sequence witnesses to develop the plot, create themes that resonate, is either a public defender or a prosecutor. Those guys are always in court. That's my dog keeping me safe.
All good.
Just like juries are keeping us safe.
Wow. Did you ever, like, on that journey of really starting your own firm or kind of going that way, did you ever have a thought like, am I going in the right direction? Should I be doing this? Like how was that for you?
I've always loved what I've done. There have been times where I've questioned what I did because the weight is so heavy. Like being a lawyer in a lot of ways sucks because you're responsible for so many things, and with responsibility comes great weight. As with knowledge comes a lot of weight. When you know things and you need to kind of convey that and pass it along, it's heavy. So there have been times where I've wondered and I've asked myself, why are you doing this to yourself? Because it's hard, sleepless nights, money. I've been bankrupt so many times. Like my backup, not little, I've never filed bankruptcy, but the number of times my back has been up against the wall. And I'm laying it on the line for a cause, and I don't know, like, how am I going to buy my kids Christmas presents? Like, I've been there, okay? You really do kind of question, like, why is this worth it? Sometimes it'd be better just to get on a machine, turn the diesel on, and start moving dirt.
Yeah. So talking to some of these other entrepreneurs out there, like we're post-pandemic, we're kind of in this next cycle, and some people are displaced, some people are some people won, some people aren't doing so well. What kind of things would you tell maybe some of those new entrepreneurs that are maybe kind of just getting started and they're out there right now?
Oh, wow. One, don't be impatient. The ups and downs of a day, like 1 minute you're feeling ecstatic, the next minute you're feeling like, this, what is happening? And I'm never going to get through this. You got to have perseverance, and you have to just, good and bad, you have to have the long game in mind, and you have to when you start, you have to know that you're going to fail, like miserably, painfully. And when that happens, it's just, you have to find the purpose and meaning in that failure and use it as a motivation to grow and become better and to become wiser and to never let that failure happen to you again. And right now, I think that, we're also dealing with, I think our psyche and our confidence is really rattled because of just so many things around us that we can't explain. So there's a lot of fear. And I think we have to let go of that. There's an element of powerlessness that we have around us, and you have to go inward. And this is where what I said before, my mission, right? To be the best available you right now, so you can be of service to others. If you are doing what you do for, as far as I'm concerned, any other reason than to be of service to others and to do good and to help, I think you need to do some soul searching and you don't have to change your job. You don't have to change your career or your plan, but you have to think, how can I align my business plans so that it helps others? Because that will be when it starts to turn around, when everything you do is of service to a greater good. And that's not the way the world goes round. Mm-hmm. Those people get stepped on and abused because there's this greed and there's power that's permeating everywhere around us, right? And it just seems like those people always win, but they don't. They don't. There's a universal spiritual truth that's much more powerful than greed and power.
Awesome. Eric, I got to bring up one other thing because I researched my guest in advance, and I saw on your LinkedIn George Clinton's lawyer and a lot of background in entertainment. Like, how do all these things come about?
I don't. George Clinton.
I was like, it was on your LinkedIn. I couldn't help it. I had to bring it up. I was like, what? That's awesome.
Yep. I've got some stories. Idi Amin's right-hand man, Uganda. Idi Amin is a brutal dictator, and there's a lot of corruption that is actually, like some of these governments that are trying to figure out from colonialism, how do we work? I've been dissed by Idi Amin's lawyer. We were collaborating in Uganda. So I could go, I've got like such an extraordinary path of just bizarre kind of events. But George Clinton, he had some Seattle matters come up in one way or another. He needed help in a courtroom. And when you're good at what you do, stories get retold, right? Story. Your name will come up. And when you make a strong impression on someone, you never know how that will ripple around. And so I don't market, that? I don't spend a penny on marketing. And I have more cases than I want. I could feed, law firms cases that they would love to have because of, the reputation that I've developed by being good at something I believe in. And I think when you believe in what you do, things like George Clinton happen. Yeah. Because he is, for those who don't know, George Clinton is the Black Elvis. He's credited with creating rap and inspiring like this whole new art form through his creativity and originality. And originality, right, is something we could talk about as an entrepreneur. What are you doing that's different? Right? What are you doing that distinguishes what it is that you got going on from other people? And that can only come from within you, because when you look at your thumbprint and you look at them little lines and circles and squiggly things, there's not another one like it in the world. So who are you and what's your thumbprint? Yeah.
Well, Eric, I think that's a great ending to this, man. What is your thumbprint? That being said, if somebody is listening to this and they want to learn more about your firm or follow you or connect, what's the best way for people to reach out?
There's not a lot of Chinese trial lawyers that, Fong. So Fong Law is pretty simple. You can call me on my cell phone, 360-621-9557. This day and age, I think you can track anyone down.
Fantastic. And we'll appreciate that, and we'll definitely put like your LinkedIn profile, that kind of stuff in the show notes so that our audience can just click on the link and head right on over and connect with you. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters or engaging in an episode, we're all about bringing on business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and having them share their mission, the reason behind their mission. You know, why do they do what they do? Like, what gets them up in the morning and, you know, fired up to go out there into the world and make a difference? If that's the type of content that sounds interesting or fun or exciting to you, we welcome you. Hit that subscribe button. We have many more mission-based individuals coming up on the line, and we don't want you to miss a thing. Eric, really, it has been a pleasure. Thanks so much again for coming on the show and sharing.
All right, man. Likewise, and you are so welcome.